Alliance veteran Jiang Chen travels to a parallel world. Becoming a young screenwriter with limited lifespan troubled by cancer. Participate in a story competition. Fortunately, the Awakening Alliance story promotion system. Promoting Alliance stories can earn reputation points. Theme. BrothersYong'en and YasuoYasuo. Sorry brother, I accidentally chopped you to death Yong'en. It's okay, everyone, just chop it. Theme. BaonanFake Mommy Treasure Man. You hit me, I need to go back and tell my mom. Real mommy boy. What's wrong with my mother? Love your mother, see you tomorrow. Theme. ResistanceSeras. Once you see the truth, you can no longer survive lies. Farewell to the cage forever. The lines of this character are getting more and more popular. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Alliance Guy Crossing as a Screenwriter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Parallel World, Dragon Kingdom. Hangcheng. At this moment, there was a bustling crowd in the Grand Hall in the city center. The Lotus Pavilion is one of the famous buildings in Hangzhou and is also known as a world-class venue. At this point, the venue is already overcrowded. Due to the fact that the hottest and most popular program of the Dragon Kingdom every year, the Miaobi Flower Story Competition, will be held this year at the Lotus Arena. Bang ka ka, the spotlight instantly lit up, piercing through the dark curtain of the venue. Teacher He Ling, dressed in a black suit, walked out of the slowly opened door from a distance with his head held high. He wore a smile, indicating that today is destined to be an unusual day. Oh, the thunderous cheers erupted, causing the entire venue to vibrate. The cheers of the live audience trembled and howled. The Wonderful Writing and Flower Story Competition can be said to have saved the film and television industry of Longwa. In today's world where bad movies and cliché plots are rampant, how many people's love for film and television dramas is completely destroyed. An irresponsible screenwriter, a director who doesn't pay attention to facts, and an investor who only wants to make money. Just like a worm constantly gnawing on the foundation of the Dragon Country film and television industry. And the appearance of this program is like a giant hand holding up the soon-to-collapse Dragon Kingdom film and television. Because participating in this program is not important at all, such as identity, status, and whether one has attended a professional college. The only important thing is whether your story is eye-catching and whether it is worth investing in by major film and television conglomerates. Once this competition was broadcasted, it ignited the entire network, and in recent years, countless excellent film and television works have come from this program. I believe everyone is already eager to participate in this year's wonderful pen competition. Let's talk less nonsense and get straight to the main topic. Teacher He Ling waved his hand and pointed straight ahead. These are the 64 experts who broke through in the national qualifiers. They come from all over the world, with different origins, but their purpose here is the same. That's to win the crown and the trophy behind me, which represents the ultimate goal of screenwriters and writers. Everyone looked behind He Ling with their eyes fixed on him. Where stands a pen-shaped trophy shimmering with gold. Almost all the contestants showed a greedy expression, their eyes burning as they looked at the trophy. This represents the highest honor in industries such as screenwriters and writers, and they are here for it. Only one person is an exception. Jiang Chen's eyes were dull at this moment, with dilated pupils and no focus. Where am I? Aren't I playing in a league? At this moment, he was still trapped in a deep confusion. Have you traveled through time? If I can travel through a league at home, wouldn't I go buy lottery tickets? 5 million. Then a strange memory surged into his mind, and the intense pain forced him to cover his head. The terms, wonderful pen competition, cancer, and fulfilling wishes, came to mind in his mind. Finally, after understanding the whole story, Jiang Chen showed a bitter expression. My original name was Jiang Chen, and I was a young screenwriter who graduated from a film and television school. I had a bright future, but I didn't expect to get cancer at a young age. When the original body learned that they only had less than half a year left in life. No panic or blame. But instead, he secretly registered to participate in the Wonderful Brush Flower Story competition, without telling his family this program was created by Yang Mama, who put in countless efforts and financial resources in previous editions. Many good works were adapted and sold well, and some stories were even polished and remade by more professional teams. Once released, they directly earned billions of dollars at the box office. What is the concept of billions of box office revenue? Some internationally renowned box office monsters have only managed to break through billions, and these films have been around for more than a decade or even decades. Over the years, the total box office revenue of events like The Story of the Titanic Cruise, which has been the top-grossing film in history, has been around 15 billion yuan. Countless young screenwriters flock to it, and many talented screenwriters have emerged and become famous in the film and television industry. I came here to prove myself. But due to high-intensity creativity, my body was overdrawn and I belched during the competition. Brother, you're a man. After absorbing all the memories, Jiang Chen gave a thumbs up. But then he lifted his forehead with bitterness, feeling the abnormality in his body. He felt like crying without tears. Why are other travelers crossing over just pretending to be forced to face each other? Treading on the wealthy and punching capital. And I am actually a terminally ill patient. The way of heaven is unfair. Even if he becomes a cancer patient through time travel, let him participate in the competition as a screenwriter. He's just a college student who loves playing in leagues. Letting him write screenplays and stories is just a joke, isn't it? Although he has read several online novels in his past life, he also has an impression of some major film and television works. But having an impression and writing it out are completely different things. Not to mention the general impression of the plot itself, let alone the understanding of the professional knowledge of the screenwriter. Just as Jiang Chen was pondering on what to do next. Ding, it has been detected that the host has fused their memory, and the Alliance Story Promotion System has been successfully launched. A spiritual and urgent electronic sound echoed in Jiang Chen's mind. This is the system. Indeed, the benefits for the travelers may be delayed, but they have arrived. Jiang Chen's face showed ecstasy, his heart beating rapidly, and the electronic sound landed in his mind, like the sound of heaven. With the system, he won't be so panicked anymore. System, quickly introduce what you are useful for. Jiang Chen is eager to understand the functions of the system. The Alliance Story Promotion System, as the name suggests, is a system where the host promotes the story of the Alliance universe to people in parallel worlds using the Alliance's worldview. As long as the works created by the host are known and understood by more people, they can earn reputation points. Reputation value is equivalent to the currency of the system, which can be exchanged for all products in the system mall. Not only does it include the background stories of Alliance characters, but also various abilities. As long as the reputation value is sufficient, there is nothing that cannot be exchanged, only something that the host cannot imagine. Watching the impressive description of the system, Jiang Chen became excited. He himself is an Alliance enthusiast and has some knowledge of the background stories of Alliance characters. It can be said that almost all characters in the Alliance are flesh and blood creatures. The most exciting thing for Jiang Chen was that 1 million reputation points could be exchanged for a 1-year lifespan, which filled him with hope as he was suffering from a terminal illness. Surprisingly, even the lifespan can be redeemed. This system is really awesome. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining a beginner gift pack. Do you want to open it? There's nothing to hesitate about. Jiang Chen just chose the yes option. Ding! Congratulations to the host activity beginner reward. 1 character background story redemption voucher, which can be used to redeem the background story of any character in the mall. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining top-notch screenwriting, creative, and visual skills. As the system beeps, it ends. Jiang Chen clearly feels different. Not only has my thinking become clearer, but my perspectives on things have also become more diverse. He feels like giving him a script now, and with his hands changing it, the box office will at least double. These abilities are all top-notch. If those screenwriters were to know that Jiang Chen had mastered the knowledge they would never have learned in an instant, he would probably vomit blood on the spot. As for the top-level visual description ability, it can make Jiang Chen's words more vivid, making others feel as if they are there. There's a hang. How else are these people playing? Come on, speed, let's talk about a topic. I'm so strong now. Jiang Chen is now full of confidence. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Horrorful jury lineup. You are listening at novelful.audio. Okay, after seeing the 64 most outstanding young creators in our Dragon Country next, we will introduce 4 judges and teachers. I'm secretly trying to sell a trick to everyone. This year's judges and teachers are all heavyweight figures. Next, let's invite our first judge-teacher with the hottest cheers and the most intense applause. Teacher Lu Heping. Upon hearing these words, the on-site audience cheered with overwhelming force and momentum. Lu He wore a gray long coat and walked briskly onto the stage. Hello everyone. Teacher Lu. The cheers from the audience continued for a long time. Even many contestants took out their phones and took selfies with Teacher Lu. It can be seen that Lu Heping has a high popularity. As the screenwriter of authoritative historical dramas such as The Ming Dynasty, The Yongzheng Dynasty, and No War in Beiping, Lu Lao is an insurmountable mountain in the Longhua film and television industry. It can be said that no one will be able to produce a historical drama that can rival Lu Lao's work in the next few decades. I didn't expect the first judge to be so heavyweight. Isn't it even more explosive in the end? Jiang Chen has an impression of Lu Heping, a giant in the history department, who can be said to have supported the Sky of the Dragon Kingdom historical drama alone. Next up, Chen Xicheng. Oh, as soon as this statement was made, the voices of many young people in the audience rang out. Chen Xicheng, wearing a black trench coat, took a big step onto the stage and took the microphone. I am honored to serve as a judge for this year's competition. As you all know, I hope there will be works that interest me in this competition. After speaking, he handed the microphone to He Ling and left behind a seemingly cool figure walking towards the judges without looking back. Jiang Chen couldn't help but twitch his lips when he saw the situation. Chen Xicheng is really as fond of dressing up as ever. But although he pretends, he cannot help but admire his ability to make commercial films. As the director, screenwriter, and even actor of Northern Love and Tang Dynasty detective series, Chen Xicheng showcases his ability to make money to the fullest. As the youngest billion-dollar screenwriter in Dragon Country, he does have crazy capital. Many of the audience present were his fans. The next judge is a director, everyone can guess. I have to admire He Ling's hosting ability to push the already climaxing crowd to higher ground through interactive means. Is it Jiang Wen? My favorite movie is Evil Suppresses Righteousness, and I am his fan. I hope it's Jiang Wen, you fake fan. Jiang Wen is filming a new work and doesn't even have time to appear on this show. Why don't you think about a horror film director? Is it possible that it is Chinese director Wen Ziren? His Chainsaw horror series can be considered a classic, okay. It makes sense. Looking at the enthusiastic audience, He Ling smiled and understood that her goal had been achieved. Give me some tips on Farewell My Concubine. As soon as these words were spoken, the audience immediately exploded. As the pinnacle of domestic films, the rating of a certain segment is as high as 9.6, and it is the only domestic film that ranks in the top 10 of a certain segment. It can be said that no one knows, no one knows. So the identity of the next judge was instantly exposed. That's right, he's director Chen Kaiga. Chen Kai walked slowly onto the stage, accompanied by a young man in a suit who looked straight. Chen Feiyu, Chen Dao's son. Xiao Xianrou's appearance, combined with his distinguished background, has earned him many fans. But the acting skills are really not very pleasing. I didn't expect Chen Kai to be here. The judging lineup this time is really luxurious. Chen Fei is so handsome, I love him so much. Chen Feiyu heard the cheers of female fans on stage and showed a bright smile. He never understood why Chen Kaiga kept making him hone his acting skills, saying that his acting was terrible. So what? No matter how bad his acting skills are, so many people come to see his works for his face. Besides, as Chen Kaiga's son, is he still afraid of not having a performance? Some people who know Chen Kaiga have roast. Hey, Director Chen also put in a lot of effort to pave the way for Chen Feiyu. Chen's old face was almost ruined by Chen Feiyu. I think Chen Kaiga only has that strength. He has produced Farewell My Concubine. Do he have any other works that he can excel in? It's ridiculous that just such a movie can make you praise it so much. You can even see people online questioning the value of Farewell My Concubine. It's really hilarious. You should know that this movie is already something that other directors cannot surpass in their lifetime, understand? As a fan of director Chen, one thing to say is that he is really not doing well now, and his son is even more of a vampire. Damn it. Jiang Chen's impression of Chen Kaiga is average, but he has heard of the famous name of Farewell My Concubine before. He Ling saw that the enthusiasm at the scene was so high that it was difficult to control, and decided to immediately announce the last judge. The scene instantly quieted down. You should know that the finale must be the most impressive. Surprisingly, it ranks behind Chen Kaiga, Lu Heping, and Chen Xicheng. I want to see who the judges think are in the end. Surprisingly, it carries so much weight. Please have the last judge. He Ling's call reached the highest point and suddenly stopped. The audience present all held their breath and stared at the door. Guessing in my heart who the last judge is. Even Jiang Chen was full of curiosity at this moment, and the first three judges were legendary figures in their respective fields. The last one must be a heavyweight, otherwise it wouldn't be placed last. Come out quickly, are you so anxious about me? Who the hell is it? I have to say He Ling is too good at hosting. Did you reveal any insider information? Longhua. Countless viewers sitting in front of the TV are staring intently at the screen. Some people are holding their phones and waiting. Seeing that his expectations had been met, He Ling did not continue to play tricks and randomly announced loudly. The last judge. Phone Gang. Upon hearing this, some viewers were like deflated balls. I have everything ready. Are you telling me this is it? Phone Gang. Isn't this the comedian? Upstairs, you're making a lot of money. Phone Gang has directed several movies, don't you know? It's just director Noguko, who's halfway through becoming a monk. Ah, I thought he was a heavyweight guest. Jiang Chen was also stunned, not expecting the production team to have Phone Gang make the final appearance. As far as he knows, Phone Gang's films are indeed very profitable, but most of them rely on pre-release marketing. But how to put it, he is a storyteller who is too lazy to care about how others make money. He's just curious that according to the ranking, he shouldn't be the last one. Jiang Chen couldn't figure it out, and the audience couldn't figure it out either. Only the major anchors sitting in front of the screen showed a clear expression. What do you know? This wave of program crew is in the atmosphere. Using this trick to deceive bullet comments, high. It's really high. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. Theme. Brothers. You are listening at novelful.audio. Nevertheless, the ranking of judges this time is unprecedented. Even Feng Gang, who has the most average reputation among them, is one of the more successful directors. It can be seen how high the value of this competition is. Okay, now that all 4 judges have gathered, I announce the official start of the wonderful brush flower competition. As He Ling's words fell. Scream! Scream! The venue once again resounded with thunderous cheers. The previous part was just an appetizer, the past is over, and the audience doesn't care. The next one is the highlight, which is the key for the audience to watch this program. After introducing the 4 judges one by one, He Ling continued to host. First of all, congratulations to all the contestants for winning all the way here. You are all outstanding in this industry and the cornerstone of Longgua's film and television industry. Now let me introduce the competition rules and detailed content to everyone. This is very important, please listen carefully, contestants. After speaking, He Ling took out the rule card given by the program team. The contestants below, including Jiang Chen, all held their breath and focused. Raise your ears. The rules of the competition are very important things. Firstly, in the upcoming competition, we will divide the contestants' works into 2 groups for rating and review. They are the ratings of netizens and judges, and the average score of netizens and judges is taken as the final score of the contestant in this round. After the experience of previous sessions, in order to prevent malicious ratings, we have adopted a real name rating system with a 500-word rating reason for this netizen rating. Finally, the contestants will be ranked based on their scores, and the top 32 will advance to the next round. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. He had originally thought that only the judges had the chance to score, but he didn't expect that netizens would also have the chance. This has increased his chances of gaining fame even more. It has to be said that the rules set by the program team are very user-friendly, and a 500-word rating reason has been added. Secondly, in each round, we will give participants a theme. As for what to write in full screen, participants can decide for themselves, as long as they do not deviate from the core theme and do not involve memorable content. Positive and upward is always our main theme, and we hope everyone can create a positive story. Thirdly, in order to make the stories created by the contestants more complete and attractive, you can make appropriate use of your strengths. Do some involvement for the story characters. If there is enough time, it is even possible to draw the characters directly. Of course, involving some character lines can make the characters in your writing more vivid. In short, you can use all the means to make your story exciting and your character full. The 4 judges nodded heavily upon hearing this, expressing their agreement. They are all people who have experienced creativity. Sometimes a few lines can instantly bring a character to life. Jiang Chen listened carefully to the rules of the competition, which were all clichés. The most important aspect is to ensure the positive energy of the script. In my original memory, many contestants wrote storylines that touched the bottom line in order to attract attention. Punished and directly abandoned the game. Now everything is fine, everything that needs to be explained has been explained. Jiang Chen's only concern is this proposition at this time. Many players are like him. We are privately discussing possible topics for this year. Alright, I believe everyone can't wait to know what the first proposition of this year is. I won't keep it a secret anymore. Now let's invite 4 judges and teachers to discuss sending a representative to the question box in front of us to draw a question. He Ling pointed his fingers towards a completely black square box. This box contains the propositions of this year, and the reason for determining the propositions is through extraction. One is to ensure the authenticity of the program, and the other is to test the reaction ability of the contestants. The proposition is vast like a sea. No matter what kind of proposition you face, you must adapt to the situation. This is the professional quality that a qualified screenwriter should possess. After unanimous discussion among the 4 judges and teachers, it was ultimately decided that Lu Heping would be the one to draw the questions for this round. I saw his hand slowly reaching into the black box and pulling out a small card. He Ling also handed over the microphone upon seeing the situation. Taking the microphone, Mr. Lu looked at the card in his hand and said again. Brother. There was an uproar below the stage. Brother. This proposition is actually brothers. There doesn't seem to be much to write about this proposition. I don't even have brothers, how do I write brothers? As soon as the proposition was announced, many contestants began to discuss it privately. Some contestants suddenly feel like crying without tears, which is not even their area of expertise. What can the theme of brothers be written about? It's nothing more than the style of the ancient confused child, either it's some kind of brotherly intrigue or deep brotherly affection. This theme feels a bit cliché. No matter how it is written, the audience in the live broadcast room has already begun a heated discussion. Xiao Chen, what do you think of this theme? The other judges also began discussing this topic when they saw it. The theme of brothers can be said to be very simple, and the creative directions for this type of theme in the market can be said to have been developed. I don't think there will be any scripts that can make me serious under this theme. Chen Xiqing's comments are very sharp, and he firmly believes that this theme is difficult to innovate. I also think this theme is very average and has little commercial value. The ancient puzzle set is no longer popular now. Feng Gang nodded slightly and expressed his opinion. Hahaha, you young people are too restless. I do think that often such simple and extreme propositions can better test a screenwriter's professional ability. Is it possible to turn such simple propositions into miracles, even if the road is simple? Isn't that what we, like us, pursue? Isn't that exactly the purpose of this program? Teacher Lu Heping's views on the two are completely opposite to theirs. This statement also made the other three judges applaud and applaud. The audience in the live broadcast room suddenly ignited. Is this the backbone of the older generation? Look, this is called a profession. Transforming decay into magic, good and good. Teacher Lu Heping is truly a myth in the screenwriting industry. I don't think it's strange to say such things. Although Feng Gang and Chen Xiqing had different opinions from Lu Lao, they still held great respect upon hearing these words. The respect for Mr. Lu has deepened even further. Chen Kai remained silent for a while before opening his mouth. Director Lu is right. Transforming decay into magic is exactly what we pursue, but this ability does not require the accumulation of time or the refinement of numerous scripts. It is difficult to master. These little kids are just starting out. It's already great to be able to write a complete story. Lu's words are very reasonable, but Director Chen's words are also correct. Mainly, there are only 5 hours left for on-site creation for this simple subject matter. If you can complete the story and slightly polish it, you can probably achieve a good result. Chen Kaiga's speech has attracted many comments of agreement. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Brother, our paths intersect again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Chen pushed open his own creative single room according to the number 24 in his hand. A single room is not big, about 30 square meters, but it has all 5 internal organs. Beds, chairs, sofas are all equipped for athletes to rest when they are tired. A 2-meter wide table is placed in the window position of the room, with complete facilities. There is a white screen next to it for projection. It not only facilitates the creativity of the contestants, but also facilitates the audience to watch their creative process. The entire competition is live-streamed, and each contestant has their own live broadcast room. And Jiang Chen's live broadcast room is his number 24. Just as Jiang Chen was about to pull back his chair and take a break, the sound of Yiling came from the broadcast in the room. Now, all the contestants have arrived at their creative single rooms. Now I announce. The 64th round of this year's wonderful pen competition has officially begun with the order of Yiling. All contestants either sit in front of the computer and start searching for information, or immediately take out paper and pen to record their inspiration. Some contestants have even started writing. The originally relaxed atmosphere suddenly became tense. The main channel of the program can view the live situation of each contestant. Live Room 1. A man wearing a golden eyeglass frame was staring intently at the screen, his fingers frantically tapping on the keyboard. A few big characters appear on the screen: dragons fight tigers. This number 1 contestant is very capable, graduated from Kyoto University of Film and Television, and his professional ability is beyond doubt. The good results of the top few in the audition have entered the final stage. He Ling raised his hand and introduced contestant number 1. Looking at this title, the number 1 contestant is going to write a story about brothers' struggle. The perspective is quite good. Let's see how he performs. The main screen cuts rapidly, and almost all the contestants are immersed in their creations. Emitting a brainstorming. Only one person's live broadcast room has a somewhat bizarre art style. Live room on the 24th. Jiang Chen lay on the sofa, one leg resting on the other, swaying gently. His eyes were tightly closed, as if an old monk had settled down. The on-site audience was in a state of uproar, and even the judges and teachers showed a surprised expression. For creating a script, they know that 8 hours is far from enough. How could this 24 good guy rest on the sofa? This young man, said teacher Lu Heping, feeling somewhat amused. I have watched the audition script for the 24th before, and I am a contestant who enjoys playing tricks. Unfortunately, the theme of this time is brothers, so it is difficult to have any more tricks. Chen Xiqing looked at Jiang Chen's appearance and shook his head. This contestant has a great talent for comedy when he falls asleep at the competition venue. Feng Gang grinned, his uneven teeth pointing at the camera, making him uncomfortable. Let's continue reading, maybe even in terms of conceptualization. Chen Kaiga also expressed his own opinion. In his opinion, creative habits are different, and some people may like it that way. At this point, Jiang Chen's live broadcast room had already gained many netizens. The first time someone came to the competition venue to sleep, it was also a strange thing. It seems that we have found the 64th place. So, can we have higher expectations for ourselves? We have all arrived at the scene, so let's struggle for a while. Hahaha, this screenwriter is in line with my personality. He has a clear goal and knows he can't compare to me and just put on a show. The most important thing is that he is as handsome as me. Upstairs, don't you dare say that. After your reminder, I found that the 24th is really super handsome. No, what's the use of being handsome? Coming to the scene to compare is the story written, not the beauty. It's really funny, hehe, I see you're feeling sour. Oh, it's not even moving on the 24th. What's good to see? Let's go. And Jiang Chen is pondering which characters in the Alliance universe fit this theme. There are many heroes in the Alliance that fit the theme. Doghead and Crocodile. Crocodile lost itself and turned against its brother Doghead. Or are it the two brothers Noah and Draven? From an orphan to an imperial master step by step. Or is it Orn and the bear? The love and hate between the iron sheep and the storm bear. Jiang Chen's thoughts drifted away, but then a bright light flashed in his eyes. He thought of a pair of the best candidates. That's right, they are Yong'en and Yasuo. Although they are not biological brothers, they share the same family and their affection is even stronger than that of biological brothers. Someone used to play jokes like this in their past life to demonstrate their only sibling relationship. Yasuo. Brother, I accidentally chopped you to death. I'm sorry Yong'en. It's okay, guys, just chop it off. It shows the brotherly bond between the two. Think about writing about Yong'en and Yasuo. Jiang Chen opened the system, clicked on the search bar, and without hesitation, found the story plot of Yong'en and Yasuo exchanging for the two brothers. Then he continued to digest with his eyes closed. Quickly, the group of netizens who flooded into the live broadcast room on the 24th saw that Jiang Chen remained motionless. They all went to other live broadcast rooms. Even the judges and teachers are no longer paying attention to the 24th. But instead, they turn to watching a few people they recognized more. An hour passed quickly. Many of them have already explained the background of the characters and are ready to enter the main storyline. During this period, the main desk cut into Jiang Chen's room several times. Seeing that Jiang Chen remained motionless, even Chen Kai, who had a glimmer of hope for Jiang Chen, shook his head and showed a disappointed expression. He has read Jiang Chen's selected script, which is considered a more spiritual story and quite to his taste. Everyone in the film and television industry knows that Chen Kaiga is hailed as the most poetic and picturesque director. I thought I had met a good seedling, but unfortunately. During this period, the barrage was never idle, even busier than the contestants. Has someone already entered the main storyline? So fast, the 38th has already entered the main storyline, and the characters are portrayed well, but the opening plot is a bit cliché. I have also watched it, it's just an ordinary puzzle boy. The beginning is indeed average, but if there are highlights in the subsequent plot, the results should be quite good. After all, puzzle boys still have a group of fans. Just as everyone was crazily discussing, a barrage caught everyone's attention. Come to the live broadcast room on the 24th, it's moving on the 24th. Upon hearing this, many viewers immediately flocked to Jiang Chen's live broadcast room. The main desk has also been switched to room 24. 1 hour of time. Jiang Chen not only has a thorough understanding of the stories of Yasuo and Yong'en, but also has a preliminary grasp of scriptwriting and visual description skills. Everything is ready now, only the story needs to be written out. Jiang Chen slowly stood up. Moved. This big brother finally moved. Let me see what essence has been brewed for an hour. Warm tip, it may not be the essence but also the dung after brewing for an hour. Jiang Chen was unaware that the audience in the live broadcast room was talking about him. He just pulled open the chair seat. His gaze fell on the screen, his hand supporting the keyboard. Gently tapping. At this moment, everyone held their breath and focused, even the discussion of bullet comments paused. The judges, teachers, and He Ling's gaze were all focused on the screen. A few large characters slowly emerged. Brother, our paths intersect again, will the ending still be the same as last time? Chen Kaiga and Lu Heping exchanged a glance and saw the surprise in each other's eyes. Reverse storytelling. You should know that reverse storytelling requires a high level of hard skills from the screenwriter, who must have extremely deep control over the direction of the story plot. It's not that it's difficult, it's just that the on-site creation only took 8 hours, and on the 24th, they dared to choose to start the story in reverse chronological order. It's really beyond their expectations. Chen Xiqing's eyes also flashed with a hint of strangeness, commenting, "There's not enough time for the flashback. Don't tell me that he constructed the entire story in the first hour. This is impossible. I can only judge that the 24th is taking a risk." Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Aso's father is a scumbag. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Brother, our paths intersect again. Will the ending be the same as last time? It's a bit challenging, to be honest. I'm looking forward to it a bit. Me too. Don't say that. Although the 24th is poorly presented, it is still quite powerful. A simple sentence aroused my curiosity about this story. Do you think? Those who can enter the corner race are not ordinary people, they are those who have been killed all the way through the mountains of corpses and seas of blood. Look, he's continuing to write again. Jiang Chen's use of reverse narration does have the purpose of attracting readers' interest, but mainly to improve the dialogue of the character Yong'en. Next, it's time to write about the background of the two brothers. Jiang Chen took a deep breath and began to quickly tap the keyboard with his fingers. The background of the story slowly unfolds. The continent of Valoran is home to numerous kingdoms, including a magical land called Ionia. Yong'en and Yasuo were born into the same family in Ionia, and they are half-brothers of the same mother and half-father, the continent of Valoran. Ionia. Is it difficult for him to use a completely new worldview? It's really beyond his control. Chen Kaiga let out a disappointed sigh. Director Chen may have taken a wrong look this time. In 5 hours, this kid actually wanted to create with a new worldview. It's just a pipe dream. Chen Xiqing looked at Jiang Chen sitting upright in room 24 and sneered. Handsome is handsome, but unfortunately it's a show-off. Feng Gang has always looked down on this kind of fresh meat, and this kind of skin bag is just his tool for making money. 5 hours, even Lu Laolai can't do it, right? 5 hours, not only do we need to rediscover a worldview, but we also need to write a story that is closely related to the theme. Don't mention me, even if the 4 of us work together, we won't be able to complete it. Lu Heping shook his head and said. Although several judges were not optimistic about Jiang Chen, he still did not leave his live broadcast room. They want to see what this young man who is beyond his means can do. Look at this place name, this kid needs to be completely original. Did he come in a hurry in 5 hours? It's already almost an hour. If he can come in the remaining 4 hours, I'll just eat. 5 hours, I want to break through with an original worldview. Isn't that a scene? I am quite looking forward to it. This has never appeared in any previous masterpiece, and if it really succeeds, it can be said to be unprecedented at this moment. Jiang Chen was completely immersed in his thoughts. As if he had already descended upon Ionia, watching the intertwining of Eternal and Aso's destinies. Yong'en's father passed away when he was young, leaving only Yong'en and his mother as an orphan and widowed mother. Later, Yong'en's mother met a man who cooked her life like a gentle autumn breeze. Then he didn't wait for Ionia's winter reward to come to this family, and quietly left like that lonely season. This man is Yasuo's father. At this point, the gears of fate begin to rotate. The writing skills of this description are somewhat poetic and picturesque. Chen Kai nodded in agreement with the passage. It's just eye-catching. Chen Xiqing's face remained calm, unable to see any emotions inside. Ah. This is how these 2 brothers came about in terms of emotions. Yasuo's father is also too rebellious, a scumbag. Isn't this too scumbag? Just slapping your butt and leaving. You are all following Aso, don't you think Yong'en is very miserable? Lost father in childhood, now my mother has been deceived by a scumbag, and I inexplicably have a younger brother. Sigh, I feel sorry for Yong'en. Indeed, this approach differs greatly from other contestants. After explaining the background of Yong'en and Yasuo, Jiang Chen paused and pondered how to proceed next. In no time, his eyes lit up and he suddenly had inspiration. This story revolves around the vastly different personalities of the 2 brothers. Since that's the case, then we have to spit out the personality differences between the 2 brothers. After understanding everything, he continued to start coding. As the sky gradually darkened, the afterglow of the setting sun reflected tired figures. Yong'en held Yasuo and sat quietly on the threshold, waiting for his mother, who was weaving for others in town, to return. Yasuo's little hands kept patting Yong'en's tender face. Brother. Hungry, a soft voice came from my arms, followed by waves of baby crying, wow. Wow, Yong'en looked at his brother in his arms at a loss. Finally, a figure in the distance brightened his eyes. Fortunately, Yong'en's mother finally rushed back in time, took Aso from Yong'en's arms, and gently stroked Yong'en's head with her calloused palm. Looking at his tired mother and young Aso at this moment, Yong'en understood what he should bear, because this family lacks the important role of a father. Yong'en, as an older brother, has been playing a protective role for his beloved family since childhood. And this has gradually cultivated Yong'en's mature and stable personality. After finishing writing, Jiang Chen breathed a sigh of relief. Due to his ability to depict top-level visuals, He seemed to be immersed in the scene and saw the young Yong'en, clenching his fists and firmly following his mother's gaze. He swore to protect his mother and brother. Good, good. In a short period of time, I was able to perfect the character's personality, and this little guy made me curious, Teacher Lu Heping shouted 3 times in a row, expressing his recognition of Jiang Chen. Not bad, Chen Kai nodded with a hint of meaning. It surprised me a bit. The 24th is indeed a powerful event, but unfortunately time doesn't wait. Feng Gang looked at the less than 4 hours left and felt a bit regretful. Isn't it just a changed skin of brotherhood? Why create an original worldview just to catch people's attention? Chen Xiqing stared at the screen expressionlessly. Obviously, he doesn't think there's anything remarkable about this story. It's like embracing Yong'en, at the most helpless age, yet protecting the 2 most beloved people. What is the 24th doing? Why write Yong'en so pitifully? He's still a child. It can only be said that Yasuo's father is too brute, a scumbag can't die easily. I hope Yasuo can grow up quickly and share some family responsibilities for Yong'en. No, did you forget the beginning given by the author? It's obvious that the 2 brothers will separate due to some things. As the story unfolds, the discussion between Yong'en and Yasuo on this program becomes increasingly intense. Ding reputation value +1 ding reputation value +1 ding reputation value +1 in just a few minutes, the reputation value has accumulated to over 20,000. Jiang Chen was pleasantly surprised, truly the most influential program in Dragon Country. Due to the high attention of the judges and teachers, many people have been paying attention to Jiang Chen's live broadcast room. Thanks to Jiang Chen's top-notch visual description ability, many viewers have already immersed themselves in the story. Many people have felt the helplessness of eternal kindness in childhood. New writer, if readers like to read it, please give some comments or free flowers to support it. Thank you very much. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. 2 brothers with vastly different personalities. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Contrary to Yong'en's maturity, stability, patience, and self-discipline, Yasuo is an impulsive, reckless, and rebellious mischievous boy. In the farmland of the village, Yasuo, who was as thin as a monkey, was seen wrestling with a tall and large man. The opponent relied on their physical advantage to maintain the upper hand, grabbing Yasuo's hands with one hand and punching Yasuo with the other. Fortunately, Yasuo's body was agile, and with a gentle twist of his head, he dodged his huge fist. His fist was hunting, piercing Yasuo's face. At this moment, a force from somewhere erupted from Yasuo's thin and weak body. He instantly broke free from his restraint, then used the big guy's arm as a bar, jumped up, and rode on the big guy's neck, with his fists falling like raindrops on his head. Just as Yasuo was still immersed in the joy of his impending victory, a tall figure pulled him down from his large body. This tall and thin figure is Yong'en, who has already entered his youth. In the field, Yong'en grabbed Yasuo's hand and rushed towards home. Along the way, Yasuo vigorously shook off Yong'en's hand and roared at Yong'en, "Yong'en! Why did you stop me? Didn't you see me about to win that big guy?" As he looked at his younger brother refuting him, Yong'en frowned and said, "I only saw you losing face. You're fighting too." Yong'en explained helplessly, "Unless absolutely necessary, I am not belligerent." "That's because you don't have anything to prove." Upon hearing this, Yong'en's pupils trembled. He didn't expect his younger brother to be so arrogant. Randomly, he looked helpless and said earnestly, "Yasuo, the battle is continuous, and my heart is meaningless in it." Writing about Jiang Chen stopping his work. Standing up, he took a glass of water and paced back and forth in the room. One reason is to rest and relax. His physical condition is not good and he is not suitable for prolonged sitting. Secondly, it is also to brainstorm how to proceed with the next steps. As soon as Jiang Chen stopped, the audience became unhappy. Everyone began to howl in sorrow. Don't stop, keep going. You stopped in just half an hour. Even the donkeys in the production team dare not rest like this. Not Buddy, in the live broadcast room number 1 next door, I haven't taken a break from start to finish. You're good. Take a break for an hour, then write for half an hour and start taking a break again. It's really you. What's the rush? Human beings are not machines. With such intense thinking, I'm sure I'll be tired, okay? Oh, I didn't expect Yasuo to be an impulsive and reckless person. Not only impulsive and reckless, he's just a belligerent from the current perspective. Yasuo should be an extremely arrogant person who does not want to be weaker than others, as can be seen from his battle against a big guy compared to Aso. I prefer the character of Yong'en, who is mature and steady, giving me a feeling of being a big brother next door. Is it a good idea to shape two brothers with completely different personalities and create conflicts and contradictions? This idea is not so cliché. Teacher Lu Heping nodded slightly. Surprisingly, he was able to gain recognition from Mr. Lu. It seems that there will still be a play on the 24th to advance. I hope he can successfully advance unconsciously. Everyone was already attracted by Jiang Chen's works. Chen Xicheng couldn't sit still when everyone nodded. Opening a comment. Although this story is written without any problems, the beginning is really plain and lacks the desire to continue reading. I still prefer this simple opening. Don't do anything flashy and without advertisements. Lu Heping's words instantly embarrassed Chen Xicheng. Is it inappropriate to talk about him? You should know that almost every part of his Tang Dynasty detective series has a lot of advertising placements. And it's still the kind of blatant implantation that earns billions just from advertising expenses. Seeing that Lu Lao had already spoken, Chen Xicheng could only give up. Isn't Chen Xicheng picking bones in an egg? Which script doesn't start with some foreshadowing? He just likes to look for pictures and understand what he's doing. Look, the 24th has started again. After resting for a while, Jiang Chen sat down for a meeting. Yasuo is impulsive and reckless like a sharp sword that no one can control, and eternal grace is Yasuo's scabbard. Can to some extent restrain Aso. And Aso only listens to Yong'en's words. Later, when Yong'en went to the famous swordsmanship dojo in the village to study, Yasuo said he would follow Yong'en for everything. Unfortunately, Aso is too young, so the swordsmanship dojo is not willing to accept him. Yasuo didn't want to be separated from his brother, so he waited hard in the wind and rain outside the door, which moved his sect and brought him under his command in the pouring rain. A thin figure knelt in front of the gate of the swordsmanship dojo. His clothes had already been soaked in rainwater, and his hair was disheveled and hanging down. Although the rain washed away Aso's body, it could not dispel his determination to join the dojo. Kid, go back quickly. You're too young. Even if you kneel for a long time, we won't accept you. An old man with a belt and sword waved his hand at Aso. Yasuo did not respond to the situation, but responded to the old man with action. After finally kneeling for 3 days and 3 nights, Yasuo's unwavering gaze and tenacious willpower moved the old man. Come on in, kid. At this point, the two brothers began their journey of practicing swordsmanship. The proud and delicate Aso is actually Yong'en's follower brother. Go learn swordsmanship and follow whatever he says. I hit this combination. Although Yasuo is impulsive and reckless, his willpower is really strong. I didn't expect the two brothers to be swordsmen. I am even more looking forward to the story that follows. Practicing swordsmanship is great Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Twin Swords of Eternal Grace, Fast Wind Aso. You are listening at Novel Full.audio, Double Sword Eternal Grace, Fast Wind Aso. The title immediately sparked discussions in the live broadcast room. Yong'en is actually a double sword flow, Gale Aso. Surprisingly, there is elemental power. It seems that Ionia is not easy. Only in this way can we have the feeling of martial arts in the martial arts world. If there were only simple sword moves, it would be so boring. Curious, is Double Sword's Eternal Grace stronger, or is Gale also stronger? I'm already looking forward to it. After entering the swordsmanship dojo, Yong'en chose the Double Sword School. He is exceptionally talented, hardworking, disciplined, and focused. Soon, his martial arts skills won the admiration and respect of other disciples. Although Yasuo has an impulsive and reckless personality, he is indeed a true swordsmanship genius. When Yasuo waved his long sword for the first time, he knew he was born for it. Yasuo and Yong'en brothers are both swordsmanship geniuses. It seems that the main theme of this story is the struggle between two brothers. There can only be one strongest person in an era. It seems that the two brothers fought because of swordsmanship. Many netizens have started to speculate whether the two brothers will be fighting each other for the top position in Kendo. Cliché uninteresting. This kind of martial arts as soon as I see this, I can guess what to write later. Isn't it just that the two brothers fought fiercely in swordsmanship and eventually turned against each other? Feng Gang had a clear understanding on his chest. With a slight squint in his eyes, he said, when it comes to the martial arts atmosphere, I have to mention the movie I shot called Old Canon. On the 24th, you can learn from my work and broaden your horizons. Just as Feng Gang was about to say something more, a voice interrupted him. It's teacher Lu Heping. I don't fully agree with what director Feng said. Stories that can guess the subsequent plot are called clichés. I'm sorry to say that. I can deduce the plot of all the movies and TV shows on the market from the beginning. Isn't that all clichés? Teacher Lu Heping does not agree with Feng Gang's explosive remarks. In my opinion, the plot of director Feng's movie is quite unpredictable. Feng Gang originally wanted to explain something. Lu Lao's words completely silenced him. Faced with top figures in the film and television industry, he is a wild director who has just become a novice. You can't offend anyone by saying that. Originally, Chen Xicheng also wanted to express some of his own opinions on this paragraph. At the sight of the strong smell of gunpowder, I dare not touch Lu Lao's mold. Feng Gang, it's really impossible not to die for a moment. Learn from him. Isn't his old canon his own self-proclaimed essay? Learn from him. Are you afraid of going in and stepping on the sewing machine? Feng Gang is still promoting his movie on site. It's really shameless. Do you have the audacity to arrange a scene of shooting for yourself? Su Qin also took the risk with the increasing discussion in Jiang Chen's live broadcast room. The reputation value is also slowly rising. I have collected 100,000 reputation values in less than 2 hours from the beginning to now. Looking at the soaring reputation, Jiang Chen is full of power. The speed of pushing the plot has also increased significantly. Yasuo's talent quickly caught the attention of the legendary master of wind-wielding swordsmanship in the sect. Elder Suma. Elder Suma is highly respected and has no children under his knees. And Yasuo's talent shocked him all. Immediately indicates that Aso at the waist has been accepted as a closed-door disciple. Upon hearing this news, Yong'en sincerely feels proud of his younger brother. You should know that Sumakang is the only person in the entire Ionia who has mastered the art of windward swordsmanship. Not only is it loved by the audience, but many people also come here to become his disciples. But as the sole controller of the wind sword technique, he knows very well that wind sword is not something that ordinary people can control. The geniuses in those sects are not worth mentioning in his eyes. Until Yasuo's appearance. Let Elder Suma see hope in him for inheriting the wind sword technique, swordsmanship in the wind. Just listen and pull the wind. It seems that Aso is a bit better in talent than Yong'en. What's the use of having talent alone? Does also have eternal efforts. How many geniuses eventually disappear from the crowd as the only descendant of the wind sword technique? Wouldn't Elder Suma supervise Yasuo? They have all been accepted as disciples of the closed door, and they will definitely teach with dedication. Just this, Aso's starting point is much higher than Yong'en. I'm already looking forward to the final battle between the two of them for the head of swordsmanship. Who do you think will win? It seems that there is a high possibility that Yong'en will lose to Yasuo, but I don't want Yong'en to lose. I bet Yasuo can become the only inheritor of the wind sword technique, and his talent and strength are beyond doubt. I bet Yong'en, I always think he will give me a different surprise. Looking at the barrage of heated discussions, Ling smiled and said. Ha ha ha, it has to be said that the story of the 24th is very attractive. Many netizens have started to guess who will win between Yong'en and Yasuo, and even I am starting to be a little curious. I don't know how many teachers think Aso and Yong'en will win. I saw 4 mentors discussing with their heads down. After a while, Chen Kaiga was the first to speak up. From the information given to me so far on the 24th, it seems that Aso has a better chance of winning, but don't forget that the story plot needs ups and downs, so I choose Yong'en. Lu Heping nodded slightly in agreement, which was a technique used by the screenwriters. And changing the ending through hard work perfectly meets the positive energy requirements of the production team. As a veteran screenwriter for many years, he knows too well. At this moment, Chen Xiqing picked up the microphone. I want to express some different opinions. In my opinion, talent is far more important than hard work, so I choose Yasuo. Some people may question me, but I want to say, I myself am a great example. After speaking, he immediately took action, revealing a seductive smile. As the youngest billionaire director, he has no problem saying that. But it's a bit too pretentious, isn't it? What's wrong with the installation? If I were so young and had such achievements as him, I would pretend even more than him. Director Feng, what is your opinion on this? Seeing Feng Gang closing his eyes and not standing up to speak, Ling had to ask. If I were to write it, I would write that both of these brothers lost to a stronger person, so that the story has suspense, right? Do you want me to guess who wins Aso and Yong'en? That's not interesting. Hey, I knew that Feng Gang might not be good at farting once opened, the taste became too strong. Who said it's not? Director Feng has a good idea. Ling replied awkwardly with a smile and a random conversation. Since everyone has their own answers in their hearts, let's continue to watch and see who the two brothers can become. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Maple Tree Seed Symbolizing Humility. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Refuse Elder Suma, arrogant Aso. To everyone's surprise, Aso refused Elder Suma. Not willing to become his disciple. Yong'en found Yasuo in a rice field. Yong'en leaned against the big tree and moved slightly towards Yasuo's lips. Why reject Elder Suma? Yasuo's face was calm, as if refusing Elder Suma was not a big deal. I don't need anyone else's guidance, I can rely on myself. You don't want to learn the windward swordsmanship. Ionia is the only one who does it. Yasuo disdainfully said, I don't need any windward swordsmanship, I can do it the strongest on my own. Upon hearing this, Yong'en raised his forehead slightly and shook his head, his tone filled with helplessness. You haven't changed at all, you're arrogant and conceited. I saw Yong'en take out something from his arms and hand it to Yasuo. Yong'en stared quietly at Yasuo, waiting for his answer. Yasuo opened his palm and saw a delicate maple seed in his hand. His pupils trembled slightly as he remembered the supreme admonition of the dojo, which Yong'en had always pursued. His mind recalled the moment he waited in the rain and the moment he was held in Yong'en's arms waiting for his mother. A strange electric current flashed through his mind, as if he had understood something. He carefully picked up the maple seeds in his arms and looked up at Yong'en's eyes. The two brothers smiled slightly and everything became clear. The next day, Yasuo became an apprentice of Elder Suma and the second swordsman to master the art of windward swordsmanship. At the same time, he also served as the personal guard of Elder Suma. Yong'en sincerely feels proud of his younger brother. But at the same time, Yasuo's arrogance always worried him. Although Elder Suma is highly respected and skilled in swordsmanship, he does not understand Aso as well as himself. At this point, Yong'en can only rely on Elder Suma for hope. I hope that under his guidance, Aso can change his bad habit of impulsiveness and recklessness. Woo-woo, Yong'en is really kind to Aso. He doesn't want the two of them to fight each other. Yasuo is too arrogant and conceited, right? Why refuse Elder Suma? I really don't understand. If you don't understand, that's right, because you're not a genius. As mentioned earlier, Yasuo knew he was born for swordsmanship the first time he held his sword. He felt like he could become the strongest swordsman without the need for Elder Suma. I greatly admire Yasuo's courage, even disdainful of the wind sword technique. This kind of personality that doesn't pay attention to anything really suits my appetite. You are in love, Yong'en has to worry to death. It has to be said that Yong'en is indeed a good brother who guides Aso. He also gave the maple seed, which symbolizes humility, to Aso. I feel like I've become both a father and a mother. My eternal grace that loves me, Kang. Kang, Yong'en's twin swords draw an arc in the sky. The sword of refined steel quickly slashed towards Aso, and the air was hunting with a sound. Yasuo looked at the twin swords attacking him without any fear. Directly holding a long sword and raising his hand, Asoyan had already reached adulthood. Yasuo's power is not like eternal grace. 3 long swords intertwined, their momentum never diminished. Zizizi, bursting out the sound of blades crisscrossing. Yong'en saw Aso's effortless appearance suddenly, both feet forcefully stepped forward, and the body quickly retreated. Smiling. Be careful, brother, I saw Yong'en cross his arms and erect his swords. Intend to launch an attack. Upon seeing this, Aso's body was engulfed in a gust of wind and he burst out laughing wildly. Bring your horse over, brother. Double sword slash. Step forward and slay. Yong'en held 2 swords and swiftly attacked Aso like a cheetah. Yasuo's body was stirred by the strong wind, his figure swaying and flickering forward. Bang! 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 Kang! Kang! Sword shadows flashed by. The unrestrained winds are raging, and Yong'en's clothes are being compressed by the force of the fast wind, making hunting sound. Yasuo's arms were also tingled by the powerful force of eternal grace. At this moment, many disciples of the dojo were attracted by the huge movement. Look, Yong'en and Yasuo are fighting again. Yasuo's windward swordsmanship is becoming increasingly sophisticated. Yong'en's double swords are like the sharp blades of the Grim Reaper, with each strike possessing extraordinary power beyond ordinary people. Senior brother, come on. Yasuo, come on. The atmosphere of the dojo was pushed to a climax by the sparring between these two brothers. At this moment, even the elders put down their affairs. Watch this brotherly struggle. Suma, do you think your good disciple will win or Yong'en will win? I saw a burly old man in a gray robe looking at the old man with white beard and hair beside him and asking. This person is the master of Aso and the strongest controller of the wind sword technique, Elder Suma. Suma didn't immediately answer the questions from the elders around him, but touched his beard and said, Yong'en and Aso are both good seedlings. But the smile on his face was self-evident. The elder in the gray robe immediately understood and immediately looked shocked. Unbelievable, unbelievable, Yong'en is his most promising disciple, hardworking and talented. I didn't expect Yasuo to be even more of a monster, quietly surpassing Yong'en. He really doesn't want to believe it, but the other person is Suma's disciple, so he has to believe it. Although the elderly Suma can no longer wield his sword, he has witnessed the strength of his youth with his own eyes. Bang, the aftermath of their confrontation dissipated. Yasuo also stands in opposition with eternal grace. There was a hint of disbelief in Yong'en's eyes, but more of satisfaction. Because he knew that if Aso exerted all his strength in the windward sword, he would already have a strength no weaker than his own. Unexpectedly, Yasuo is no weaker than Yong'en now. Arrange some opportunities for Yong'en on the 24th, otherwise it's not certain that Yong'en will lose in the end. To be honest, the plot is a bit dull. With the BrothersYong'en and YasuoYasuo, there's nothing to attract me to. Same feeling, I just went to other live streaming rooms to watch for a while, and many people have already entered the climax stage, and the slowest ones have all been paved. Their plot is well written, but the characters are a bit dry. Normal matches are like this. I will come back and polish the character when I have time. Otherwise, there won't be enough time for 5 hours. All that's possible are tentacle monsters. It has to be said that the preparation on the 24th has been too long, and the story seems to have no waves from the beginning until now. My sense of expectation is slowly being exhausted. Chen Xiqing's sudden speech made him and the three judges look at him. Indeed, if the foreshadowing is too long, it is easy for new screenwriters to lose control. If the plot is not pushed to the climax later on, or if the climax cannot match the foreshadowing in the early stage, it is easy to collapse. Chen Kai nodded and expressed his opinion in agreement with Chen Xiqing's view. I've already said that the 24th has its own appearance, Feng Gang said as he saw this. Lu Heping sat quietly. No opinions were expressed. It's not that he doesn't agree with the few people's statements, on the contrary, he also feels that the groundwork is a bit lengthy, so much so that the audience's expectations are gradually eroded. So far, the audience's expectations have been driven by the future showdown between the two brothers. But he always felt that the 24th would surprise him, so he chose to continue watching. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. The Invasion of Texas. The plot is gradually unfolding. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, Jiang Chen was unaware that the outside world was speculating about the direction of the plot. His mind was rapidly pondering the next steps of the plot. He was already familiar with the script for the two of them, and in a moment he thought of how to write it. Noxus invades Ionia, Yong'en rushes to the front line. Type the title for the next scene. The live broadcast room instantly sparked a heated discussion. Finally, I'm about to enter the crucial plot, I can't wait. What is Lexus? It sounds very strong, I wonder if Ionia can resist it. The author will definitely explain it later, but since Noxus dares to go to Ionia now, he must have confidence before taking action. It seems that Ionia is going to be in danger this time. The Noxus are a group of warmongers, and conquest is the ultimate goal of Noxus. In Texas, possessing force can bring you everything you want at this point. Jiang Chen couldn't help but pause. The battle of Noxus invading Ionia was too grand. There are too many heroes and powers mentioned in the original text. The figures of heroes such as Jia, Barilia, Karma, and Raven are all present in it. If you start from scratch, a few hours is definitely not enough time. So Jiang Chen can only postpone the time and bring down the part of Yong'en who went to the front line for resistance. After thinking through everything, Jiang Chen did not rest. Code directly with your hands. The invasion of Texas was a prolonged war, burning on the land of Ionia. The peace most revered by the Ionians was shattered by the brutal battle axe of the Noxus. The most revered balance was destroyed by the battleships of the Noxus. Now they understand that only resistance is the only way to save themselves. Yong'en and Yasuo's swordsmanship dojo also understood that only resistance is the only way out. How do I feel that this worldview is a bit grand? There seems to be a lot of things that haven't been explained on the 24th, and the balance he mentioned makes me a bit curious, Teacher Lu Heping said as he touched his chin. Chen Kai strongly agreed and said, I think so too. It feels like we've only uncovered the tip of the iceberg, and we haven't been able to glimpse the full picture of the war. In his opinion, there is a lot to write about here, and even a few more characters can be added. But soon he understood that if he continued to write here in a few hours, there would definitely be no time. Cut, keep it mysterious. Isn't the grand scene just to attract attention? Phone Gang muttered softly. For some reason, since several mentors and bullet screens refuted Jiang Chen's viewpoint. He doesn't like 241. Chen Xiqing stared silently at the screen, not knowing what he was thinking. Yong'en and other disciples of the dojo left their hometown to resist the invading Naxio's army. And Yasuo will stay to protect the safety of the dojo and the safety of Elder Suma on the eve of parting. Ionia, swordsmanship dojo in the long corridor. Yasuo raised his hand vigorously. Yong'en's long sword was suddenly shaken away by a tremendous force. Yong'en rubbed his wrist and picked up the long sword. You should stay here with Elder Suma, Elder. He taught me martial arts, and it was precisely because he wanted me to go to battle and kill the enemy. What you need to do is protect the sword school, the master, and Ionia, then I should be even more generous in serving the war. Yasuo vigorously refuted and proved that he was not wrong. Yong'en didn't reply, he knew that Aso would listen to him. Stay behind to guard the sword school, and only he and Yasuo have this strength in the entire dojo. Brother, let me handle the matter of going to battle to kill the enemy. Yong'en didn't say this sentence, he knew that Aso didn't need his protection. But he once swore to protect Aso and his mother. Yasuo's strength is now stronger than Yong'en. Why does Yong'en still not let him go to battle to kill the enemy? Did you use your brain? Yong'en was trying to protect Aso. Yasuo's impulsive and reckless personality, no matter how strong his strength is, if he goes to the battlefield, he still has a dead-end. War is never a child's play, it can really kill people. I see, the big shot worshipped him. I am Chao. Yong'en. I cried to death, fool Aso, I haven't been able to comprehend the teachings of eternal grace yet. Oh, if only Yasuo wouldn't be so impulsive and arrogant so I can watch the two brothers fight together to kill the enemy. This is how he is. If he's not impulsive and reckless, can he still be called Yasuo? The character portrayal skills on the 24th are quite good. He is a seedling. Chen Kai nodded, and Jiang Chen was indeed very interested in him. He himself is a director who focuses on portraying character traits. At this moment, he couldn't help but have the idea of buying this character. Full. Not bad. Teacher Lu Heping's evaluation was very brief. But the admiration among them is not concealed at all. Finally entering the plot, I want to see what you have laid so much groundwork for. Phone Gang crossed his legs and stared at the screen, squinting his eyes. Alright, after 2 hours of preparation, our contestant Jiang Chen on the 24th finally finished explaining the plot and entered the main storyline. Let's wait and see. Suddenly, Jiang Chen's live broadcast room became extremely popular, and the number of viewers exceeded 1.8 million. Even after seeing He Ling on the big screen, it felt a bit dreamy. Since he hosted this program, there have been very few works that have achieved this result. Almost every one has been adapted into a film and television drama, ultimately selling well. It seems that the 24th has the gift of being a deity. Yasuo stared at Yong'en's departing figure and frowned, whispered, Yong'en, I won't be wrong. He never understood why Yong'en refused to let him go to the front line and fight against the enemy. Nowadays, his windward swordsmanship is still highly accomplished, and if he were to exert all his strength, he is confident that no one in the entire swordsmanship dojo can withstand 10 moves on his hands, except for Yong'en. But he has the confidence to defeat Yong'en. Nowadays, there are only him and his master left in Noda's dojo, as well as some elderly elders. Yasuo leaned against the stone pillar, and his long sword leaned against the pillar. Together there is silence around. How could any intruder run here? Yong'en is really making a big deal out of a molehill. He frowned and impatiently kicked the stone in front of him away. Then he crouched down again and started to daydream. Just as Aso was feeling bored, boom boom. Boom boom boom. The passionate sound of war drums came from the distant valley. This sound is the war drum of the army of Texas. Yasuo immediately stood up and casually picked up the long sword beside him. Looking back at the dojo, I looked at the peaceful and secluded dojo. Without looking back, he unleashed the power of the strong wind and headed towards the battlefield. It's broken, I feel like it's laying the groundwork here. How could an army come to the vicinity, so immortal? Yasuo is indeed impulsive. Just stay in place, isn't it? Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Invaders. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There's a turning point. He Ling stared tightly at the screen and didn't dare to leave for a moment. From the other end of the valley came the war drums of Texas. The strong wind stirred around Aso, and he wandered through the jungle like a ghost. Yong'en, I won't be wrong. Yasuo's eyes were filled with confidence. He always believed that the elder taught him the art of windward swordsmanship, and it was precisely for him to go into battle and kill the enemy. Guarding Ionia. Now that the war is spreading, he cannot sit idly by. When Aso arrived on the battlefield, it was already too late. Smoke filled the battlefield, telling the story of a recent battle. The valley is full of potholes, which are the marks left by the heavy artillery of Texas. Looking at the scattered limbs and broken arms on the ground, Yasuo understood. He came late. A painful moan came from afar. Yasuo's eyes froze. There were still survivors. He searched carefully and finally found a soldier wearing armor under a dimly lit blue magic stone statue. Yasuo pulled out his long sword, picked up his helmet, and what caught his eye was a tender face looking at the outfit. This is a Norse, an intruder. At this point, his lower body had been crushed into a puddle of flesh by the statue, and blood had spilled all over the ground. Kill me. The little boy's facial features twisted in pain. Brush, the sword light flashed by, and the boy no longer made a sound. Yasuo found a water source that had not yet been contaminated with fresh blood and washed his face. He, who has never seen death before, is now experiencing some physical discomfort. His heart is full of mixed flavors. I never thought that it was true that Noxus was leading with children. He didn't know whether the sword was meant to free the little boy or to vent his hatred towards the invaders. Hate it. Maybe, but he's a child. At this moment, Aso gradually understood the profound meaning of eternal grace. War is not a children's play, it's not the two of them fighting in the dojo. This incident is a matter of life and death. Yasuo stood quietly for a while, looking up into the distance, unable to help but worry about eternal kindness. I'm Chow. This section is okay. Yasuo finally started using his brain. I thought Aso didn't have a brain for the previous plot. Speaking of which, this mysterious Nox is also too animal, using children as the vanguard to make the Ionian people relax their vigilance. Do you think that war is bloody, cruel, and any action that can be won is not excessive? I have to say this paragraph is too true. Fortunately, it's okay. Fortunately, Yasuo didn't have any problems. After this incident, Yasuo should be able to appreciate the good intentions of eternal grace. Not bad. The character of Yasuo is gradually becoming fuller. I thought this Yasuo was just a reckless man, but I didn't expect him to have such an emotional side. This kid has a good portrayal. Hahaha, I just said this kid will surprise you. I just said his plot is calm, so I'll give you a turning point. Chen Kai and his brother were frank in their admiration for this plot. The characters are standing up, but the plot's turning point is a bit small. If it were bigger, it would be perfect. Lu Lao touched his chin and said. It's a bit interesting now. Chen Xicheng straightened his waist and whispered he didn't originally have much hope for Jiang Chen's story. I have also been to the live broadcast rooms of other contestants. It seems like I have watched them. I didn't expect Jiang Chen's live broadcast room to be the most attractive to him. Che, isn't this kind of plot something that can be easily written with just a quick thought? Is it worth praising? Feng Gang was a bit skeptical. At this moment, Lu Heping's expression was solemn. I don't agree with Director Feng's words. You should know that the contestants only have 5 hours to create. May I ask what kind of script you can write in 5 hours? You may not be able to compare to this contestant, right? Lu Heping has long been impatient with Feng Gang's tendency to nitpick and show off his knowledge. In fact, it's not just because of this, but also because Lu Heping thought of his script being criticized and commented on by the director during the filming process. These directors who enjoy commenting have not personally experienced the script writing process, and have no idea how difficult it is to write a complete story with new ideas. Upon hearing this, Feng Gang could only nod and give up in frustration. I'm Chow, it seems that the judges are starting to debate, family members, who knows? Finally, someone has taken action to sanction Feng Gang. I've seen him displeased for a long time. He has been there for a long time with a small mouth, but it's just showing off that he's dead. Teacher Lu is my internet mouthpiece. After writing this scene, Jiang Chen stopped his movements. Stand up and click on the system panel. Watching the reputation skyrocket to 800,000, I was somewhat shocked. On the one hand, it is because the system's undisturbed mode was just turned on during the creation process. Messages that obtain reputation values can be blocked, in order to create with better peace of mind. On the other hand, he didn't expect the influence of this program to be so great. I have already gained so much reputation before even finishing writing this story. If I finish writing the entire story, how much prestige value would it have? Jiang Chen couldn't believe it. He thought that cancer was completely hopeless. At this moment, he was full of confidence. As long as he continued to promote the story of the Alliance, one day he could accumulate 50 million reputation points. Exchange for a cure for cancer. Then he corrected his color. The following plot is the real climax. He loved the plot of Yasuo's escape in his past life. And Aso's personality changed precisely because of this experience. Becoming less impulsive and less reckless. Under the sedimentation of the escape route, Aso also became mature and steady. Otherwise, how could this idiot Aso say it now? The long road is long, accompanied only by swords. However, this section is also the one that Jiang Chen couldn't bear to watch the most. Yasuo wielded the blade of eternal grace, and then completely transformed into an unsheathed sword. There is no home, no reliance. Can only accompany death. And because of the matter of Brother Handblade, even if the cause of Elder Suma's death is found out, the truth will be revealed to the world. Yasuo couldn't forgive himself either. Because his sword was stained with the blood of eternal grace. During this period, Aso was the most heartbreaking. Alone, alone and alone. Find your own redemption. Of course, this is also the charm of the character Aso. He is unwilling to bear the name of killing his teacher. So he roared, "My life is up to me, not by heaven." His life path is full of ups and downs, but he gladly accepts that he enjoys the process of life rather than the outcome. So he asked, is the life of a leaf just for the sake of rooting? After further understanding of Yasuo's background, Jiang Chen felt a little sad that Yasuo, who was known as the Happy Wind Man in his past life, was actually a suffering boy with a complicated fate. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.